Have you ever felt that investing is scary? Too many risks. The market is constantly up and down. Today, profit. Tomorrow, loss. And sometimes you ask yourself, is there a way to invest without losing money? Most people enter the world of investing with an excited mindset. They hear others making money from stocks, real estate, crypto, and they think, I should start too. So they jump in, and then the market teaches them an expensive lesson. Some people lose 50 million VND after a month. Some people lose 300 million VND just by trusting a friend. Some people burn their accounts without understanding why. Why? Because most people only learn how to invest after they've lost money. But the rich are different. They don't invest based on news. They don't chase market waves. They don't invest just because they heard it was good. They have their own framework of thinking, principles that are almost immutable. And no matter what you see them getting rich from, stocks, land, startups, or crypto, behind that success is always a system of risk-free investment thinking. I call it the 9 rules of investing that the rich always keep secret. Not a magic trick, not a quick wealth-building tip, but silent principles that only those who have survived the market truly understand and apply. And today, I will share with you each rule through real-life experience, deep thinking, and how to apply it for yourself. But first, one thing you need to remember. There is no risk-free investment. Only investors who know how to control risk. If you are still hoping for an investment channel that guarantees 100% profit and never loses, sorry, this video is not for you. But if you want to know how to keep your money, grow it sustainably, and control yourself in all market conditions, then you are in the right place. This video is for those who have invested and lost money, those who are about to invest but fear risk, and also those who have not started yet but want to enter the market with a clear head. You don't need to be a financial genius. You don't need to know advanced technical analysis. You don't need to make quick, big wins. You just need to not lose like 95% of others out there. You just need to keep your money, multiply your assets, and survive crises. You can absolutely do it if you firmly grasp these 9 rules. Rule number 1 is the foundation of all. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but also don't hold 10 baskets at once. Sounds familiar, right? Everyone has heard this saying, but very few truly understand and apply it correctly.
Spreading money to many places and that's it. No, that's not enough. I once knew a friend named Long. He spread his money into 5 areas: stocks, crypto, real estate, startups, and a lending project. It sounds very professional, a diversified portfolio. But the problem was that he didn't deeply understand any of the fields. He had no clear strategy, didn't closely monitor the market, and when the market fluctuated, he got crushed in all 5 areas simultaneously. Why? Because he was holding 5 baskets, but all of them were leaking eggs. Conversely, another investor, Miss Huang, focused on only 2 areas: consumer sector stocks and residential real estate. But she researched extremely thoroughly. She monitored financial reports every quarter. She met directly with local brokers. She had clear buy, hold, and exit plans. As a result, her portfolio tripled in value in 4 years, without big waves or storms, just steady, sustainable, and certain growth. So what is the lesson here? 1. Don't put all your money in one single place. No matter how much you trust it, there's always a probability of error. 2. But also don't take on too many things, because then you can't control them, you don't understand them all, and in the end, you still lose. 3. Only invest in what you understand.
Or if you don't yet, learn very quickly or find a professional partner. The rich understand that diversification is not about scattering money haphazardly, but about focusing on the baskets of eggs they truly understand and holding them tightly with both hands. In the next part, I will share rule number 2, a very counterintuitive mindset. Always keep cash when others are greedy. It sounds slow, but this is precisely why the rich survive every crisis and are ready to win big when others lose everything. You don't want to miss it.
And the first one to sell off is the one who has no cash left. Look back at 2021 when the global financial market was booming. Crypto soared, stocks hit record highs, real estate prices went up weekly. Everyone rushed to invest. But then 2022 came, the market crashed, crypto plummeted, stocks fell 40%, real estate liquidity froze, and at that point, whoever had cash was king. The rich don't rush in when the market is euphoric. They wait, and when everyone is running away, they buy cheaply. Warren Buffett said it, "Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy." This saying is not just for fun, it is a guiding principle in all periods of volatility. I once met a student who made 300 million VND from stocks in 2021. Towards the end of the year, seeing the market still rising, he took both his capital and profit, over 600 million VND, and poured it all into penny stocks. Why? Because it felt like it would multiply by 2x, 3x again. Early 2022, the market crashed. His account evaporated by 70% in just 2 months. And the most heartbreaking part was that he had no cash left to manage, no chance to recover. The rich are not like that. They always keep a portion of cash, no matter how euphoric the market is. Not to sit and watch, but to maintain control. So what should you do?
1. Always have at least 20-30% of your portfolio in cash or highly liquid assets. 2. When the market rises sharply, don't expand your portfolio. Consolidate and observe. 3. When people say it's a golden time, be suspicious first. Cash doesn't die. Cash is survival. Cash is future opportunity. Cash is the ultimate weapon in a crisis. The rich hold cash not because they are afraid, but because they know that no one wins every investment game. A smart investor always prepares for the worst, even when things are at their best. You cannot control the market, but you can control your financial behavior. In the next part, I will share rule number 3, a core mindset to protect you from the most painful losses. Never invest without an exit plan. A rule that sounds simple, but is the clear distinction between serious investors and those who gamble with their own money. Wait for it, the next part will give you a completely new perspective. Rule number 3, never invest without an exit plan. One of the most painful mistakes new investors make is entering the market with hope but no retreat plan. They only think about buying but never about exiting. They put money down because they see prices rising, because emotions are high, because it feels like an opportunity not to be missed.
But they don't know what percentage they should sell at. How far down should they cut losses? What if the market moves sideways for 6 months? The rich are different. They don't invest and then improvise. They plan their exit before putting money down. That exit plan is clear, specific, with limits and principles. For example, I invest in stock A with an expectation of a 25% increase in 6 months. If after 2 months it hasn't increased, I will reevaluate. If it falls by 10%, I cut losses immediately. If it increases by more than 20% in 3 months, I will withdraw part of the profit and let the rest run. That is the plan, and I don't let emotions interfere when the time comes. Not having an exit plan is like driving a car without brakes. You rush forward at high speed and then just hope you don't crash. I once witnessed a friend invest in a crypto coin whose price tripled in 10 days. But because he had no exit plan, he kept holding. The price continued to rise, then reversed. In just 1 week, his account returned to the starting line, and in just another week, it was down 40%. He didn't take profits, he didn't dare to cut losses, simply because he didn't know where the stopping point was. The rich don't invest based on hope, they invest according to scenarios. If A happens, what do I do? If B happens,
What do I do? There's no, let's see how the market is and then decide. The correct mindset isn't that being a good investor means you'll win, but rather knowing when to withdraw is what makes you a winner. You might miss a few percentage points of profit by withdrawing early, but you won't lose everything. You might sell when the price hasn't reached its peak, but you'll still have money to invest further. You don't need to ride the entire wave, you just need to ride the best part and then withdraw safely. So how can you apply this rule? First, before buying any asset, write down your goal. How much profit percentage and how long? Second, set your stop-loss level in advance. Don't let emotions at that moment decide. Write the number down on paper and respect it. Third, review your plan every week to ensure you're still on track. The market changes, so you also need to update your exit plan accordingly. The rich don't gamble. They plan for all scenarios in advance, and that's why they are never surprised. They might not be the fastest investors to profit, but they are the ones who retain profit the longest. Investing isn't about being good at predicting the market, it's about being good at managing your own behavior, and an exit plan is the tool that helps you do that. In the next part,
I will share rule number 4. Something seemingly invisible, but which determines 80% of an investor's success. Don't make decisions when you are fearful or greedy. This is the part many people can't control, and it's also the reason they lose everything they just earned. Rule number 4. Don't make decisions when you are fearful or greedy. Emotions are an investor's biggest enemy, and also the biggest reason people lose money faster than any other factor. You might have a good strategy, you might have researched carefully, but if you act when your mind is not clear, everything can collapse after just one wrong decision. Greed and fear are the two most powerful emotional states, and ironically, they appear constantly in investing. When you see a stock price rise 10% in just 2 days, you feel excited and want to buy more, right? Because you're afraid of missing out on the opportunity. When you see the market turn red, everyone's selling off, what do you feel? Panic, worry, and a desire to withdraw at all costs, even if you're taking heavy losses. But the rich are not like that. They don't act when they are angry, panicked, or excited. They have a golden rule. The stronger the emotion, the less you should make a decision. They stop, they observe, they give themselves time.
they act after everything is clear. After everything is clear. I once knew a friend who invested 200 million VND in stocks. When the market corrected, his account dropped 15%. He panicked and couldn't sleep. The next morning, he sold everything off. Just 2 weeks later, the stock recovered by 20%, and he was no longer in the game. Not because the market was wrong, but because he made a decision when he was afraid. Similarly, with greed, another woman invested in crypto. When the price doubled, she made a big profit. But instead of withdrawing, she continued to buy more, thinking the price would go up further. Then the market reversed, and in just 24 hours, her account evaporated by 60%. The rich don't let emotions guide them. They let principles guide them. So how can you do this? First, create a decision-making process. For example, when you see a loss of more than 10%, stop for a day. Don't act hastily. When you see a large profit, withdraw profits in parts. Don't go all in again. When there is shocking news, don't react immediately. Wait for the market to react, then reevaluate. Second, record your emotions. How do you feel before buying? How do you feel after selling? Writing it down will help you reflect on yourself and avoid repeating mistakes. Third, create distance.
Don't open the investment app every 10 minutes. Don't read financial news when you are stressed. Separate yourself from the market for a bit to keep a cool head. The rich know that winning or losing doesn't lie in the market. It lies in your emotional state when you make a decision. The calmer you are, the more advantage you have. The more impulsive you are, the more likely you are to lose money. So from today, remember, emotion is the enemy. Discipline is your best friend. When the market is chaotic, the clear-headed person is the one who wins. In the next part, I will share rule number 5, the key secret that helps the rich never invest blindly, never put money into something they don't understand. Sounds simple, but this is where 90% of new investors stumble at the very first step. Don't miss it. Rule number 5, never put money into something you don't understand. This is a rule that seems like everyone knows, but in reality, very few actually follow it. You might hear people say, invest here, it's a sure thing. This project is about to double, about to go public. My friend invested 100 million and now has 300 million. After hearing that, you feel attracted. So you withdraw money, transfer it, and participate without truly knowing what you are investing in. That's how new people lose money.
They don't analyze. They don't research the operating model. They don't know where the cash flow comes from. They don't understand the biggest risks. They just listen to others and follow. The rich are not like that. They never invest in something they don't understand. They might miss many opportunities, but they only put money down when they grasp every aspect clearly. One time, I was invited to participate in a technology startup project. The model looked interesting, the profits sounded very attractive, but when I asked specifically about customers, cash flow, operating costs, the founder answered vaguely. I refused. A few months later, that project collapsed. My friends who invested in it lost everything. Not because they were unlucky, but because they put money into something they didn't understand. The rich's mindset is very clear. If I cannot explain clearly in 60 seconds how it makes money, I will not invest. You can be smart. You can have money. But if you don't understand what you are investing in, you are playing a game where you don't know the rules. And in every game, those who don't know the rules always lose. So how do you truly understand an investment? Ask. 1. What is the money-making model? 2. Who are the buyers? Who are the sellers? 3. What is the biggest risk?
4. If the worst-case scenario happens, can I exit? 5. What advantage do I have here? Understand the relationship of data. If you cannot answer 80% of these questions, stop. Don't think you will profit just because you see others profiting. You don't see how many months they spent learning, trying, and stumbling. The rich don't invest with the crowd. They only invest where they have true understanding. Instead of scattering your money, choose an area you love. You understand it deeply, you have an advantage. Learn thoroughly, and then invest strategically. The correct mindset isn't where there's an opportunity, I follow. The correct mindset is I create opportunities from where I understand best. Remember, no investment is easy money. There is only investment where you have deep understanding, good control, and careful risk management. In the next part, I will share rule number 6, something that sounds counterintuitive: knowing how to say no to attractive opportunities you don't understand. Because sometimes not participating is the smartest move. Let's continue. Rule number 6, knowing how to say no to attractive opportunities you don't understand. Opportunities are always everywhere. Every day someone invites you to invest. Every day someone says, this is about to explode. about to go public. Don't miss out. And you find yourself drawn in, not because you need money, not because you understand the project, but just because you are afraid of missing out. That's called FOMO, fear of missing out. And this is one of the most sophisticated traps in investing. The rich don't FOMO. They are not attracted by things that sound too good to be true at first listen. They don't invest because of invitations. They only put money down when they understand and have an advantage. You know, some opportunities look very attractive. Promised returns of 15% per month. Just contribute capital, no need to do anything. The project is backed by famous Mr. A or Miss B. But if you don't understand the operating model, can't control the risks, and aren't clear who is holding the cash flow, then you should say no. I once lost nearly 100 million VND in a lending project just because a close friend invited me to invest. He said, "My friends and I have all put money in." I didn't ask anything further. I didn't read documents. I didn't analyze. I just didn't want to be the only one left out. 3 months later, the website disappeared. No one recovered their money. My friend also lost everything. The rich have the courage to refuse. They have the ability to stand firm against the crowd.
The voice of an older person is experienced and warm. They know that an opportunity everyone finds attractive is often no longer an opportunity. So what do you need to do? 1. Ask yourself, do I really understand this thing? If the answer is not quite clear, stop. 2. Ask yourself, if I lose 100% of this investment, can I accept it? If the answer is no, don't participate. 3. Ask yourself, why am I investing? If the reason is fear of missing out, you are investing based on emotion, not reason. The correct mindset is, I don't invest to race with others. I invest to maintain my financial stability. You might see people making money fast. You might feel like you're falling behind, but don't forget, slow and steady always beats fast and falling. The rich are not greedy. They are clear-headed. They might pass on 100 opportunities to choose the right one that is safe and effective. Investing is not a competition to see who jumps in first, but a game to see who survives longest. And sometimes, surviving until the end is precisely the one who knows when to say no. In the next part, I will share rule number 7, an extremely important factor that the rich always adhere to: patience, to wait for the right moment, not always having to invest money. This is a mindset contrary to the majority, but it is the reason they last long.
Wait for me in the next part. Rule number 7, patience to wait for the right moment, not always having to invest money. This is an extremely important rule, but often overlooked by many. Because in today's society, everyone wants to get rich quickly, escape poverty quickly, acquire assets quickly. And so people rush into investing whenever they have money. If they have money, they feel they must do something. If they don't, they feel uneasy. They feel like they are missing out. They feel like idle money is dead money. You know what? No. The rich don't invest every day. They don't invest continuously. They don't view investing as a game to be played weekly. They only invest when conditions converge. They only act when the time is right. If it's not right, they sit still. I have a friend who is a seasoned investor in the real estate industry. He once shared, "There were years when I didn't buy anything. I just surveyed, read news, monitored land prices, I waited, and when the market corrected sharply, I had cash ready and I put money down immediately. As a result, he doubled his profit in 2 years, without fuss, without haste, simply with patience." The rich understand one thing: opportunities never run out. Only patience is something few people still possess. Conversely, new people are very impatient.
They save a little money, they rush to find an opportunity to invest. They see the market turn green for a few sessions and think, now is the time. And that's how they hit the peak, followed by days of worry, stress, being stuck at the peak, and then withdrawing in panic. So the rule here is doing nothing is sometimes the most correct action. You don't always need to be in an investment state. Sometimes you should learn. Sometimes you should observe. Sometimes you should sit still, hold cash, and mentally prepare. Another example. In 2020, when COVID-19 erupted, the stock market plummeted. Many people ran away, but some had been waiting for that exact moment for months. They had cash, they had analyzed in advance, and they invested when everyone else was selling off. After only 1 year, their accounts doubled or tripled, not because they were lucky, but because they were patient enough to wait for the right time. So how can you apply this? 1. Don't think that having money means you must invest immediately. Wait until there is a truly clear opportunity. 2. Practice observing the market instead of reacting. Train yourself to be calm. 3. Understand that inaction is also action. The correct mindset is, I invest because there is a clear opportunity, not because I have idle money.
Learn to sit on your hands. Don't click. Don't open the app. Don't be tempted by the crowd's urgency. And you know what? The rich are precisely those who know how to wait. Wait when others lose patience. Wait when the market gives clear signals. Wait when the gap between value and price is largest. And at that moment, they step in quickly, decisively, and they win. In the next part, I will share rule number 8, the mindset that helps the rich. Never drown in financial crises. Always have a plan B and an emergency fund. This is the safety net that the rich always prepare carefully, while new investors often forget. Wait for me. Rule number 8. Always have a plan B and an emergency fund. One of the reasons many people lose everything when the market reverses is not because they invested wrongly, but because they didn't prepare for the worst-case scenario. They had no contingency plan, no fallback. They thought the market was good and would surely keep going up. And then when a crisis hit, they were swept away like a leaf in the current. The rich are different. They know that investing is not a game of guessing what will happen, but a game of preparation for all scenarios. I once asked a long-time financial advisor, "Are you afraid when the market goes down?" He smiled and replied,
No, because I prepared for that last year. That is the courage, the thing that new people often lack, because they only think of the beautiful scenario. You can be an extremely smart investor. You can be a skilled technical analysis. You can choose the right industry at the right time. But if you don't have a plan B, you can still lose everything due to an unexpected event. Look back at the COVID-19 pandemic. How many people lost their jobs? How many businesses went bankrupt? How many investors had to sell off assets due to lack of cash? Not because they were weak, but because they had no survival reserves. The rich always have a plan like this. If the market drops 20%, what do I do? If this investment is down 50%, how do I react? If I lose all my profits but still have my capital, should I withdraw? If there is an unexpected financial crisis, do I have enough cash to cope? They are not pessimistic. They are just realistic. And they know nothing is certain in investing. So what should you do? 1. Establish an emergency fund equivalent to at least 6 months of living expenses, separate from investment money. 2. Do not invest all the money you have. Always leave 20 to 30% as survival capital. 3. Practice creating a plan B for each investment. Write down the worst-case scenario and the accompanying solution. For example,
If you invest 200 million VND in stocks, determine if a 30% drop in the stock would affect your personal finances. Would you need to withdraw in panic? Do you have an alternative plan? If the answer is not quite clear, it means you don't have a plan B yet. One of the things that makes the rich go the long way is that they never let themselves be cornered. They always have an escape route, always have alternative plans ready, always have a chance to recover even when the market turns against them. New investors are often very confident when the market is rising, but only those with a plan B survive when the market falls. The correct mindset is, I don't expect everything to go smoothly. I prepare for the worst so I don't collapse. And this is not just an investment principle, but also a life principle for those who go the long haul. In the final part, I will share with you rule number 9, the silent mindset that helps the rich accumulate wealth without interruption over time, reinvesting profits to keep money working even when you are resting. This is how they get rich quietly, which others don't understand why. See you in the next part. Rule number 9, reinvest profits to keep money working even when you are resting.
Do you know what the difference is between someone who holds money and someone who makes money grow? It's that the one who holds money stops when there's a profit. But the rich, they use that very profit to create more money. They don't spend the profit immediately. They don't use it to celebrate or show off. They take the profit and reinvest it. What is reinvestment? It's using the profit from old investments to continue generating new cash flow. It's letting money work continuously, not lying idle in an account. It's building a self-operating asset system that grows bigger and bigger without needing additional external capital. New people often tend to withdraw 50 million VND in profit to buy a phone or 100 million VND in profit to travel. They spend the profit as soon as they make it. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone has the right to enjoy. But if you spend all the seeds, you won't have fruit trees in the future. The rich are different. They keep most of the profits. They use it to reinvest in the same system or transfer it to a higher performing channel. They let money continue to generate money even when they are resting, traveling, or sleeping. The correct mindset is, money should not stop working just because you've achieved a little result. Try to imagine you invest 100 million VND and earn 20 million VND in profit each year.
If you spend all that profit, next year you still invest with 100 million Vietnam dong. But if you keep and reinvest it, next year you start with 120 million Vietnam dong. The following year, another 24 million, and then another 28.8 million Vietnam dong, and so on. Compounding interest creates a miraculous compounding effect. Albert Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." The rich don't need to increase their income every year. They just need their asset system to constantly circulate and multiply. So what should you do? 1. When you have profit, allocate at least 50 to 70% for reinvestment. 2. Only use a small portion for enjoyment, rewarding yourself, but don't spend it all. 3. Find suitable investment channels to continue circulating capital, stocks, bonds, real estate, or your own business. Reinvestment doesn't necessarily have to be in the same old channel. What's important is that you maintain the speed of capital turnover so that money always flows, never freezes. The richest mindset is very clear. I don't need to continuously increase my income. I need to increase the profitability of the capital I already have. You don't need a lot of capital to start, but you need a disciplined mindset to retain profits.
And multiply them. This consistent reinvestment will help you achieve financial freedom sooner than those who keep starting and stopping, then starting again.
And the best thing is that when you follow these rules correctly for 5 to 10 years, your assets will quietly and sustainably expand without you having to work hard your entire life. You don't need to be better than anyone. You just need to do one simple thing, repeatedly, and not break the chain. That's how the rich get richer silently. So we have gone through the 9 rules of risk-free investment. These are the principles that the rich always keep secret, and only those who are clear-headed enough, disciplined enough, and patient enough will reach the end of the sustainable financial path. But there's still one last thing, the conclusion, where I want to summarize all the mindsets and send you my most sincere message. Wait for me at the end. So you and we have gone through the long journey of the 9 rules of risk-free investment that the rich always keep secret. There are no shortcuts, no tricks, no quick wealth-building secrets. Only practical thinking, financial discipline, and a long-term survival strategy. These 9 rules may sound simple, but applying them is a whole journey. 1. Don't embrace everything, but choose wisely.
2. Always keep cash when others are greedy. 3. Never invest without an exit plan. 4. Don't make decisions when in an emotional state. 5. Don't put money into something you don't understand. 6. Dare to say no to attractive opportunities. 7. Be patient like water eroding stone. 8. Always have a plan B to survive. 9. And keep your money generating money even when you are resting. Some people will listen and dismiss it. Some will say, I know, enough already. But there will be some, and that's you, who truly ponder it. And I hope you are that person. You know, investing is a long, very long journey. It's not for the impatient, the hasty, who only expect results in 3 months. It's for those who know how to wait, how to analyze, how to protect capital, and most importantly, how to control themselves in chaos. You might lose on a few investments, but you must not lose yourself. You might make mistakes a few times, but you must not abandon the correct mindset. Remember this, in investing, the winner is not the smartest person, but the person who survives the longest. Let money serve you. Don't let yourself become an emotional slave to money. And if you are truly serious about your financial path, review these 9 rules every month. Write them down. Stick them on your desk. Remind yourself whenever you intend to invest in something, because what kills investors is not a lack of knowledge, but forgetting simple principles. If you found this video helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and share it with friends who are struggling on their investment journey, because you never know. A loved one might escape financial mistakes just by listening to these 15 minutes. And if you truly want to go the long haul, subscribe to the AHI TV channel now. Because here, I don't just share knowledge, I share mindset, perspective, and the mistakes I've paid for so you don't have to make them again from scratch. Leave a comment. I choose smart investing starting today. Just one line, but it's your first commitment to yourself. I believe you don't need to get rich overnight. You just need to go in the right direction, and each step will bring you closer to financial freedom, stability, and the life you deserve. See you in the next video, where I will share 7 silent habits that gradually make you poorer and how to eliminate them before it's too late. Remember, risk-free investing is when you know what you are doing and you are starting from here. Fade out, logo, AHI TV appears. Final text, slow and steady is better than fast and losing.